everyone, what's up and welcome back to my profile. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 pet peeves of every real estate agent. I've got my festive background, my peppermint mocha, and let's get into it. And I will warn you, this video is kind of juicy, but it's also just for fun. I know I have a lot of real estate agent followers, so I know you guys can relate to this, but it's all in good fun and we all know I love my job, okay? So that's just a disclaimer. The first pet peeve of every real estate agent is when people hire someone else to be their agent and then ask you for advice. And I have to keep it real with you guys. This happens to me all the time. I get messages from people who live in Arizona and will reach out to me for real estate advice. They want to know this, and this about the house they live in. They want to know what they should list for. I get questions all the time for real estate advice, but then I find out that they're working with a different real estate agent. I spend my entire day looking at the market, doing research, learning about properties, learning about new things that are added to the contracts, and I stay really on top of that. There are some agents out there who do this part-time, who don't necessarily take real estate as their full-time job or take it as seriously. And so then when they have clients, it's difficult for them to be knowledgeable about the process because they're not always on top of it. And I get questions all the time from people like, oh, my real estate agent hasn't responded to me yet, or my realtor didn't tell me about that, but I wanted to know this, and this. And it's difficult because I know that I could be representing these people, and while I do love giving advice and helping people, I also think that this is my job. And so I would love the opportunity to represent these people, but unfortunately they're working with a different agent, which just makes it way more complicated because I don't want to step on the toes of the other agent. I don't want to give them advice that's contrary to what their agent's telling them. And overall, I think the process is just much more seamless if you feel confident that the person who's representing you knows what they're talking about. So if I could give advice to anybody, I would say that you shouldn't just hire an agent only because they're your friends and family. I totally get wanting to support the people in your life and give them business, but at the same time, this is a huge purchase and one of the biggest investments that you'll ever make. So it's important that you have someone who's able to understand the contracts, understand the process, and walk you through it confidently. So yeah, that is a huge pet peeve, is when people reach out to you for real estate advice, but then they don't want to hire you as their agent. That one gets me. Number 2 is when people say that being a real estate agent is easy. This one also makes me laugh, and if you're a realtor, I'm sure you understand this. Being a real estate agent is basically like wearing 4 different hats. Half the time you're a negotiator, you're someone who's gonna go in and give staging advice, you give interior design advice, you're wearing all these different hats and you're expected to do so many different things, and it is the farthest thing from easy. You are working weekends, late nights, you're constantly there for your clients, and because the real estate market moves so fast, you have to be in a position where at the drop of a dime, you can drop everything and go show a house. And there are days when it is way more difficult than others, but it is always worth it. So that is definitely a pet peeve of mine when people are like, oh, I'll just become a realtor because it's easy. What? Talk to a realtor who's brand new and newly licensed, and you'll see that it is difficult to build up your business. It is difficult to get clients in the beginning. Once you've got that going and you get in the swing of things, it can become easier, but that's just like any other career. This isn't just something that you can just jump into and start making $1 million a year. And that's a huge misconception. Number 3 is when people think their home is valued way more than what it's actually valued at. And I know there are a lot of websites out there like Zillow and realtor.com that will give you an estimate on the value of your home. And those are good tools to give you kind of parameters or an idea, but it's not fully accurate because Zillow hasn't walked through your home and seen the condition of your property. It also isn't in real time. So it's difficult for them to give you accurate comps because they don't keep up with the MLS as it's happening. And if you notice, if you've ever wanted to look at a home on Zillow, half the time it's already under contract by the time that you're looking at it. So it's really important that you work with an agent to give you accurate comps, because that is a pet peeve when you go into someone's house and they think they want to sell for $600,000, but the home's only worth $550. And it can be disappointing for both the sellers and the agent to have to give them that news. So always just ask your agent first what their opinion is before you start to develop your own opinion about what you think the home is worth, unless you've done a lot of research on the homes in the area and you can provide valuable comps. And one more thing I want to mention is that half the time sellers want to list for more than what their house is worth. And I get it. We all want to make money on our properties. The issue comes when, let's say you list at $600,000 and then you receive an offer and they're willing to give you $600,000. Well, that's great. But once you go under contract, we have what's called an appraisal. And what the appraiser is going to do is go right to your house and pull the comps. Exactly what your agent is supposed to do. So if you list too high, then the home may not appraise, and then you're back to square one where you're having to make price adjustments and lower the price of your home when you could have just done that on the front end and avoided that issue once you're under contract. Because if you go under contract and the home doesn't appraise, the buyers have the option to back out of the contract and cancel completely. So you want to price at the right price point, because if you go too high and the home doesn't appraise, it can cause a ton of issues for the sale of your home. Number 4 is when clients ask for a commission discount. This one is really not fun to talk about, but it is so true. When I hire people to clean my house, for example, I always ask what's the best price that they can give me, which makes sense. We all want to get a deal. We want to pay for what we think a service is worth. But if someone comes to me and says, hey, I can't give you a discount, these are the services that I'm offering for you, and this is what I can do for you price-wise. And if I can't afford that, then I'll go in a different direction. But if I see value in what this company or this person or this service is providing, then I'm willing to pay that price. And more often than not, when you get a really good, cheap discount, you're also paying less because you're getting less service. If you get an agent who is offering to list your house at a very discounted price, just know that you'll probably get very discounted service. And so that's all I'll say about that. And I know that at my real estate firm, we offer a suite of different services for our clients, everything from cleaning to staging, professional photography, videography, drone photography, and all of those things are out-of-pocket costs for your agent. So if they're asking you for full price commission, it's probably because they're giving you the highest quality service. And the last pet peeve of every real estate agent is when your clients don't read the documents you send them. And you would be so surprised how often this happens. And just as a buyer or a seller, you guys, it is so important to read the contracts that you're signing. In today's day and age, we have DocuSign and digital signing sessions. And so you don't have to sit there and read paperwork and turn pages like we used to have to. But it is still a legally binding document. So we always urge our clients to read the documents and let us know if you have questions beyond them. But it's in your best interest and to protect yourself if you read the contracts. Sometimes it can even behoove you to have your lawyer read those contracts. Anything that your agent sends you, you should always read thoroughly, and if it helps to print it off, we can recommend that as well. But you just always want to make sure that if you have questions, you ask them, but read the contracts. Okay guys, that does it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, it's all in good fun. I absolutely love my job. I wouldn't have it any other way. And if you're a past, present, or future client of mine, just know that I love and appreciate you. I am always here to help those of you guys who have general real estate questions, especially if you're out of state or you're thinking about buying in another state. Let me know. I've got connections for realtors all over the country and even some that live internationally. So let me know if you guys have questions. I'm always happy to help, and I'll talk to you later.